Make you big.
Yo, what up, fam? Yo, what up? Welcome to the Ragsdales channel. Subscribe, hit the like, hit the share this content. Yo, I ain't did a story time in a while, so since I got time, I'm gonna do a little story time right now. Uh, check it out. Uh, I believe in facing your fears. Facing your fears. When I was coming up, it took me a while to know what I really feared, or was I fearing things because my older siblings feared it. Well, my older brother feared it. Like all of my life, I've had like a fetish. I wasn't scared of dead bodies. I'm kind of like, I guess, morbid or whatever. If it's a dead body, I want to look at it, touch it, look up under it, make sure it's embalmed right. Now, I'm not afraid of the dead. Uh, One thing I was afraid of when I was small was real ugly people and real big people. So that's where my story time is gonna go. Now, y'all know, I wasn't scared of Dracula, Frankenstein, and all this kind of crazy stuff that my brother was scared of. That tried, he brought that film. That wasn't me. I wasn't scared of that. I just thought I was supposed to be scared of it because he was, but I wasn't scared of that. What I was scared of is big, humongous people. Y'all, first of all, I had a auntie. God rest her soul. My mother's auntie, her name was Garnett. I think she had a twin, but her twin was not around when I came along. They had gland issues, and she was real humongous. But I had already had a bad experience. Well, she would come down to Wagner and visit. So when we would go over there, they would say, well, your Uncle Annette's there. And y'all, when I seen her, I literally sat on the front porch. Now, it was in the country in the summertime, mosquitoes, and Mama wasn't going to cut the visit short because I was scared to go in the house. So everybody in the house visiting, I'm sitting on the porch because I'm scared of this big old woman. This real big woman. You say, well, why was you so scared? Well, y'all, I had an experience. It was, and y'all Google this, Google check. It was a gospel singer. I told you, y'all, anybody that know me, I grew up in gospel music. My dad sung with Sons of Christ and Spiritual Harmonizers for years. Two of the best groups come up out of that whole area. By far, I don't care what y'all talking about. But anyway, back to this. They brought this lady in. Her name was Gloria Spencer. Y'all Google check her. And I mean, she was humongous. So we was at the Civic Center doing my dad and them brought her down there. They was sponsoring it or whatever. Big concert at the Civic Center. So me being a little dude wanting to be around my daddy, I left home early with my daddy so he could go set up chairs and get the tickets ready, the ticket table and everything get set up for the concert. So me, while he was doing his thing, I was running around. I would like to run around the chairs and in between the chairs, see how fast I could do that. Well, little did I know that they had to bring her up on the crate elevator. So, y'all, wasn't nobody there. Everybody was on the outside. And I ran in there. Y'all, I looked up, seen that big black woman. And she bucked her eyes at me. And y'all, I was scared for the next 6 or 7 years. I didn't face that fear for years. I mean, I had dreams, anxiety about this big old Gloria Spencer, big gospel singer. I think she had a gland problem because that was part of her testimony during her show. And Mama was like, go shake her hand, Harold Jean. I'm like, no, I'm not going up there. I'm not going up there. I mean, that woman scared me livid for years. So when I went to my grandma's house and I seen just the shadow of this big woman, and she was so big I couldn't even see her neck or her head. It was just like it was like I couldn't do it. I couldn't go in. But I'm telling y'all gotta face your fears. Once you face your fears, you okay. And look, I didn't share this really with nobody. I think my family members might have knew that I had a fear for real big old people. But I went to school. It wasn't until like the sixth grade. My friend Brian Johnson. What up, BJ? I hope he's still in the land of the giving. Brian Johnson, he had a Guinness Book of World Record. And I had told him what my fear was. And everybody was looking like he lying. Brian brought the Guinness Book of World Record and opened it up to her page, y'all. Now I know I was having anxiety attacks. I didn't know what it was back then because y'all know we didn't have anxiety, all that stuff in the 70s. So I was like, whoa, that's her. He was like, yeah, I believe you. I believe you. You know, and we were just like, man, I was still scared. But anyway, y'all, I prayed on that. I prayed for years because that haunted me. And later on, first, I faced it with my mother's present. And I was still probably in the sixth grade or whatever, or going to the seventh. And my Uncle Annette was at my grandma's house again. And she kept saying, come in, Harold Jean, come in. And, you know, we couldn't disrespect our elders. So when she told me to come in, I walked in there. And she's like, come here, baby. I ain't going to hurt you. Just give me a hug. Y'all, when I edged up there, she knew I was scared by then. So I'm like scared, and I laid on her, and it was like a balloon. It was like I was floating on top of her. And I just laid there, and she just played with my hair. My hair was real long and had real good grade of hair. And she was just saying, oh, his hair is so pretty. This boy is so precious. And little fat, precious boy. And, you know, she just hugged on me. But I was scared to death. As soon as she let me up, I ran back outside. You know, had to get my breathing right. But, y'all, I faced my fears. I prayed on that thing. Y'all know now it's like 600 life. I challenge anyone to face your fears. Later on, as a man, my boy Griff, me and big up to Tyree Griff out there in Frisco, Texas. Me and Griff was up in Wichita, Kansas, where my auntie lived. When I first went to Dallas, her son gave me my first job. Her son gave me my first job in Dallas, Texas. And he was living up there in Dallas. And then Griff and we did a lot of traveling on the weekend. We went to Wichita we was doing a rap and doing radio spots and stuff. And I knew she lived there. And I needed to go face my fears. And this was right after my mother had passed. And because Uncle Annette was so big, she wasn't able to make it. And back then, she would ask people to take pictures of them in the car. We was like, nah, we ain't doing that. So we didn't allow pictures to be taken. If anybody got pictures, they ain't gonna let us know. But anyway, I went over to her house, y'all. And I faced that fear. The fear was gone. And after I talked to her, she was telling me how her providers was coming and stealing from her. And Griff is real caring. Griff sat there and actually shed tears. Griff, I saw you crying. I didn't say that, but I saw you crying. But Griff cleaned the dishes. He cleaned up in there for Uncle Annette. And we opened the windows. So, because she hadn't seen sunlight in like a week. Her provider would just come, steal from her, and leave. So, of course, after I found out what was going on, I let her son know, and he told me what to do, before we left Wichita or whatever, to help her out. But R.I.P. Aunt Garnett. But she helped me face fears. I encourage anybody, face your fears, because your blessing could be in your fears. Because now I can work with people and accept people of all kinds. And I just challenge you, face your fears. Y'all, I used to have fears of height. Man, I'd fly anywhere. My sister made me get on rides at Six Flags. Now, I don't say do that, because anything man-made can malfunction. So I ain't saying that. But another fear that I want to cover or absorb before I leave this side, before I transition, I would like to dive down in one of those cages, and those cages that they put in the ocean. And I want a camera and a poker, and I want to look a great white shark in the eye. That's one of my fears. And I think that fear started with Jaws. So I want to see Jaws eye to eye. Somebody back there laughing. They're a hater, y'all. Face your fears. Fear, false evidence appearing real. Face your fears. Say, y'all put in the comment box, what's y'all fears? At least 10 people, tell me what your fears is. I don't care how stupid it is. I know y'all was looking for some juice or whatever, but hey, even old Crazy Rags there had fears. And it wasn't scary movies. And it wasn't dead people. That was some Charles Jr., snotty nose Charles Jr. type stuff. I wasn't scared of that. My fear was what I just told y'all. But, yo, I'm going to get up out of here. Y'all be blessed until the next. Y'all, hey, love, love, love. And when you stop loving, love some more. I'm out.